I was wandering the dark and distant corridors of eBay recently and spotted this EHT meter looking lost and lonely and in need of a home. So a new home it's got. Now this is a Rank Radio International Limited EHT meter, made in the UK, probably mid-60s to mid-70s I would guess. I don't really know. Quite a simple thing, there's no power or anything to it, it's just purely a meter. Now these of course are used for measuring EHT in television sets. Now I don't work on television sets, I do work on oscilloscopes. Unfortunately you can't use these on oscilloscopes because most scope measurements are taken, or when you measure the kilovoltage in oscilloscopes it's a negative DC, and this will only measure positive DC. So quite a simple thing, but the joy for me when I bought it was this beautiful precision probe. This is obviously a top design made from a precision screwdriver shoved in the end of a drain pipe. This must have cost absolute thousands to make, and I think the engineer should be extremely proud of it. So what we've got here is a screwdriver with the EHT cable just soldered on, I guess silver soldered, I'm not sure, onto the shaft of the screwdriver here, shoved up inside a bit of old drain pipe with a bit of black nasty around the end. I think usually these came with a little clip on the end of the EHT lead, and for the chassis connection you've just got a standard croc clip. There's not much inside these. I think you've got the meter, you've got a resistor maybe, and you've got a tripler that's working in reverse inside. I believe that's how it works. So instead of boosting the voltage it decreases it. I think that's how it works. The tripler actually comes out of a television set that Rank Bush-Murphy made. But we can have a look inside and see what we can see. I've not taken it apart yet, so I'm assuming the front comes off. All I really want to do on this is give it a clean up, and then maybe one day, if I do ever decide to work on a television set, and it will be a small television set, this might come in useful. I do have EHT probes that I can use with the fluke meter, but I think my one only goes up to 10 kV, because I've only used it up until now for measuring scope. EHT, which is sometimes only a region of 2,500 volts on the test points. Right, so it's not coming out. Okay, so I don't know if you can see at the back there in that plastic case is the tripler, and we've just got a meter here and an adjustment pot for calibration and a resistor from the chassis to, yeah, we've got a resistor to chassis from the grounding point here. I'm not sure why that, perhaps this needs to come, yeah, there we go. Let's pull that cable through a bit and you can see the tripler inside, or you could if the light wasn't shining on it. So that would have been part of a television set and they've just reversed it, I assume. Not 100% sure, but that's all there is, so not much to see. What I am going to do is clean the case up. It's been dinged in the past and I don't think I'll be able to get the back off, because it's pressed down over the back anyway. And we're going to try some electrolysis on these handle clips here. Alright, here's the inside of the meter. Obviously we've just got the meter and associated circuitry there. And this is the tripler. Now I think, and I'm not very or overly familiar with TV circuitry as such, I think we've got 5 capacitors in here, these circular or semicircular shapes, and we've got 5 diodes. I think that's what it is, but it's in some sort of potting compound here, so I'm just going to leave that. I'm not going to touch it at all, obviously. But yeah, as used in colour TVs. So actually it's got to be late 1960s, early 1970s. And in fact I've just seen this label, 14th of August 1978. And there's another label just fell out of somewhere, and I'm not sure where that came from. That might have come from the tripler actually. Not sure. There's some sort of label here. But anyway, that's not the important bit. The important bit here is to get this case looking a little bit better. It's got a little stand on the bottom. And it's not too bad on the bottom, but it's obviously seen a bit of moisture on the top here. And if I didn't point it out before, which I think I did, it's had a few bangs, or a couple of bangs which will need beating out with a hammer or something. So I'm going to set up to get these clips off, and we'll do some electrolysis. Right, and I'm set up to do a bit of electrolysis. There's the handle bright things. I'm sure they were nice and shiny silver at one time. So I've got a battery charger here set on 12 volts. I've got the negative, if you like, connected to the parts. I'm running 2 wires off the negative here, so I get both parts in. I'm using sodium carbonate as an agent in here, in with water, and I've just got an old screw here as the anode. Let's have a look inside and see it bubble away. Right, it's about 15 minutes in. Let's have a look. I have changed the anode to a much larger bolt. Oops, sorry, it was out of shot there. A much larger bolt. Let's have a look at how these are doing. Not bad. All that dirty, pitted rust, or the crusty rust, sorry. These are quite pitted, but you can see not too bad. And it saves using you know, something rather aggressive on it, like sandpaper. Anyway, it's a little bit of experimental fun anyway. And you can see how dirty the water's got. And obviously the closer you move your bolt or your anode, the better it's going to work. And at some point this sodium carbonate will stop being useful. It will stop being as conductive, and you just, you know, if you're still actually going, you just need to mix up some more. Well, after about an hour in the electrolysis bath, this is what those handled catch class bright things look like. Still quite pitted, but the processor's got all the rust off. but sadly over the years it's actually eaten into the metal. So I'm going to give these a quick shoot of primer and then spray them silver. So now fully assembled and back together again. This is the meter finished. Not much to see really. I've sprayed these handle caps and obviously the case has been sprayed as well. I might actually undo it all again and get some hammerite, sort of that hammered finish back on it. Not sure yet, but there we go, sort of semi-useful bit of test gear. I'm sure it's not going to get used a lot, but at least I've got one should I ever need one. Thanks for watching. Loads more to come. I've got so many projects on at the moment, it's unbelievable. And that's on top of being really busy at work at the moment. So yeah, thanks for watching and hopefully see you again soon.